What's up, guys? Welcome to the quarantine. I'm your host, Wolf, and today I'm going to be giving you guys a review slash preview of a game that's currently seeking funding on Kickstarter called Wastelander 2048 by Primed Games. Now, I'm going to have a link somewhere, wherever the hell it's supposed to show up, and in the description that should take you directly to their Kickstarter page if you do like what you see here. Now, Wastelanders is a pretty cool game. It's an apocalypse setting game where you take control of a single survivor in the beginning, and you and all the other players are exploring a city, trying to recruit more people, trying to get food to feed your current people, and to get equipment. And your ultimate goal is to be the last one still alive, because in this setting and time frame, there isn't enough food and resources to go around, so you can only afford to be the only small group of people in this city. It is a very aggressive style game, but let's take a look how it plays.
Okay, this is basically Wastelander's setup for a two-player game. Granted, I mean, your field might be a little bigger, but this is just the general idea. I do need to point out, everything you see here is, of course, prototype, and still in the early stages, so everything you're about to see in here is subject to change. And I also do need to state, this is not a tutorial, this is a review slash preview, so I may miss a few rules and whatnot. But anyways, the way the game's going to start out is you're going to draw 4 cards. I have a bunch more than 4 just for my reasons, but you're going to draw 4 cards and you're going to place one of them, and then you're going to draw a survivor and place it here. Each survivor has their what they are, a little bit of flavor text, and then their ability. Very hard to read. I think I remember hearing somewhere that the developer is going to make this bigger and a little easier to read. But anywho, you'll put that there and put it in the little stand. Opponent's going to do the same thing, and then now you're off. So what you're going to do, beginning of the game, technically you're going to have 3 cards because you laid one. You're going to draw a card. If you have more than 4 or 4, you have to play one. But you're allowed to play as many cards as you want. So let's say I'll drop the armory right here. And that's your placement. I could place more if I want, but there's reasons you don't want to. But I'll place that, and then now we go to our move phase. So each survivor can move 1 space orthogonally adjacent to where they are. So she's going to move here to the armory. Once all your survivors have moved, then you move to the event phase. And if you're on turn 1, 2, or 3, nothing happens. You can skip the phase. If it's 4 or more, and even a single survivor moved, then you're going to draw an event. These things are really good, or they are really game-breakingly bad. Like, they will screw you. Or they'll give you free shit. It's pretty cool. But it's a risk-reward system. But anyways, then after you've done the event phase, you move to the action phase. And your actions that you have are you can recruit, you can forage, you can salvage, and you can use what's called control, and then you can attack. So with recruiting, all you're going to do, if you laid the card this turn, and this turn only, then you can recruit from it. So you take this die, you'll roll it. That's a shitty roll, so let's just say I rolled a 14. If you roll an 8 or higher, you're going to get a new survivor. So you'll draw from the survivor deck, put them in the stand, and then now you'll place them anywhere on the board that you already have a survivor. So I'll toss them right here because it's the only place I have. So let's toss them over here because I didn't do that. The next thing you do is you can forage. Because if you notice, you start the game here with 5 food. Foraging, you can take one of these famine tokens, toss it here, roll a d6, and you just get that much food. However, you can only forage from places that have do not have NF, like this right here in the corner, or who does not have a famine token. I should also state, if it says NR, you cannot recruit. But anyways, I digress. So you toss that there, you roll this, get that much food. So you can no longer forage from here, so it means you're going to be depleting your resources very heavily. But anyways, then you can salvage. What salvage does is you're going to take one of your very rare food, toss it back in the market, and you're going to roll this d20. If you roll a 1, 2, or 3, nothing happens, you don't get anything. If you roll a 4 through a 16, and the number is even, you'll get 1 piece of salvage from here. If you roll a 17, 18, 19, or 20, you'll get 2 pieces. So let's just say, let's say I rolled a 16. I'm going to get this 1 piece of salvage. Control just means you get to use whatever the location is ability. So for example, right here. There's an optional, you can replace a Wastelander in this tile with a new one. So if you don't like one of your guys, he's eating too much, like the gamer, you can get rid of him, get somebody better. So that would be control. And then attacking I'll cover in a minute. But then that's your turn. At the end of your turn, you're going to pay 1 food for every survivor that you have. So you toss it back here in the pool. And so now I only have 3 left. So things are kind of getting a little hairy. Then you go to your equip phase. So there's a hardcore mode where each individual survivor has their equipment on them, like all their food they're carrying and whatnot. But it's not very well fleshed out, so we didn't really try it. It just doesn't work very well. But during the equip phase, your little pool of stuff that you've carried, your food and all this, you would then equip to the person. And the way the numbers here work is you have attack is the 2, or is the one on the left. The right is defense, and whether it's one-handed or two-handed, and then what it is. And then sometimes it'll say +1 range or whatnot. Unless otherwise stated, this has a range of 0, meaning it has to attack whatever's in the same area as you are. But let's fast forward a little bit, because your turn would end, and then your opponent does the same thing. So let's fast forward a little bit and say this right here would be our... Let's see here. What do we got? Let's say he's got a flak vest. Let's say this is our situation. So it goes back to my turn, and I'm going to... I draw up my card. Let's toss this here. I draw up my card, and then I move. I move here. It's not turn 4, so we don't have to worry about that. Again, we're playing pretend here. And then now, as her action, or his action, he will attack him. So the way attacking works is you're going to roll a d20 as the attacker. This is a very aggressive game, and it heavily favors the attacker. So you don't want to get caught with your pants down. So you'll roll a d20. So I got a 16 plus whatever the number on the left is. So I have an 18. The defender, all survivors have a static defense of 1, plus whatever they have equipped. You can have 1 vest, 1 helmet, 2 one-handed weapons, 1 two-handed weapon, and a backpack type device. But that's neither here nor there. We got into an argument in my group. But anyways, so you have he starts out with 3. The defender is going to roll this d6 and multiply 3 by 3. So he got a 9. 9, of course, is not higher than 18, so this survivor dies, and I would get all of his stuff. And that's pretty much how the game goes. It's not a very hard game to learn. It is very, very aggressive, which if you like that kind of game, awesome. This is definitely the game for you. It's got some really cool mechanisms. But let's see what I thought about it.
So Wastelanders 2048 is actually a lot of fun. It's very simple to learn. You only have a few actions you get to do, but it winds up playing like a chess hybrid, because on average, most people only get to move one square orthogonally. So you're having to reposition your people and try to make it to where you can outflank people and outmaneuver them. And if you have too many people and you can't feed them, you wind up hemorrhaging food, and food is huge. Like every game I've played, I don't think I've had more than 3 people out at any given time, just because it's so hard just to maintain 3 food a turn, and that's not counting salvaging. If all 3 of your people are salvaging every turn, you're spending 6 food a turn, and half of those salvages probably aren't even going to give you anything. There was a variant, I wasn't sure, he's got some newer rules than the ones that I had on his site that I've checked out, and I haven't gotten to play with the newest rules. The ones that I was playing with, if you rolled a 1, 2, or 3 on salvage, your guy died, which I really liked, because not only are you paying your precious food, you're also having to run the risk of him dying on top of that. And maybe you needed that guy. Maybe it was the doctor. I've had that happen where you're like, shit. Because you have other rules. Again, not a tutorial. You have other roles and saving roles. If somebody dies and you have a medic nearby, he can resuscitate him and blah, blah, blah. But the game is incredibly aggressive. If you do not like a confrontational game, this probably isn't the game for you. But if you like a game that's got a lot of conflict in it, it's an awesome game. There are a few caveats, which I've been talking to them quite a bit, actually, because I really enjoy the game. I've been talking to them about some of the things that I've had an issue with that just seemed really imbalanced. For example, guns, incredibly overpowered. Whoever gets the first gun generally won. However, the developer has already stated he's already aware of that, and he is in process of getting it fixed. So basically, any complaint I've had with the game, they're fixing. Even with how overpowered it is a light game, and it's a lot of fun. My wife doesn't even like confrontational games, and she really enjoyed it. Granted, nobody got a gun during our game. It was us beating each other with bricks and stabbing each other with knives. But either way, it is a fantastic game. If you like what you saw here, or you want to help out a new company, give their Kickstarter a look. It's a really cool looking game, and you should check it out. Anyways, that's it. I'll see you guys next time in the quarantine.